Hello dear students! We're going to deal today with some vocabulary exercises based on the text that we read and some other exercises as well concerning the vocabulary, some adjectives, some opposites. We're going to see those together. So, first of all, based on the text that we read, let's see some vocabulary that we have. We have the words bows, remember the bow and the arrow. Lean, that means thin. Curly, the curly hair that we say, wavy hair. Attached, when you are connected. Native, we're talking about the native language, so our language. To gather, to collect. Crops, that is the produce that we take from the land. Generous, that is a big-hearted person, a person that gives, that shares. And wander, to walk aimlessly, we said, to walk without any purpose. Now we're going to put these words in the sentences that we have. The Hadza people aren't plump, they are lean. So the opposite, or plump, that means a little fat, is lean, that means thin. They have what? They have curly black hair. There isn't any other word that could match in the sentence. The Hadza, the valley, what do? They wander, of course, the valley. Hunting with, what do they use? We learned in order to hunt, they use their bows. They bows and arrows. They don't grow what? They don't grow crops for food, so they don't produce their own food. Hadzan is their what? Their language. But what kind of language? It's their native language, so their own language. They are what kind of people? Since they share everything, they are generous people. They share everything. They around the fire to eat. What do? They get together. They gather around the fire. They don't become to people and things. When you don't connect to something, we learned that is the word attached. So they don't become attached to people. Let's move on. We are going to write down now the synonyms. We're going to put the synonyms of each word. Again, we have already seen this word, so they are not difficult. Let's see the words together. Fit, homeland, short, set off, quite, lean, provides, in person, return, gather, possessions, worries, attached to, wander, and we have the expression are over. So let's put those in their synonyms. I want you to find the word and then check with me on the board. So, the first word, healthy. Healthy means what? Fit, of course. A person that is fit. Gives. When you give, it means that you provide. Face to face. When we communicate face to face, it means that we communicate in person. I ask myself. I wonder, of course. I wonder what happened. I am fond of something. What does that mean? I'm fond of means when you like something or when you are really attached to something or somebody. Troubles. they don't have any troubles. The Hadza people, for example, don't have any troubles in their minds, don't have any worries. Fairly. Fairly means enough. Fairly enough, for example, or quite. They have the same meaning. Collected. Remember, the women collected berries. So they gathered berries. Gathered, collected, got from the land. Thin. We said the word. The athlete that was thin, or differently said, lean. Little. Just a little. Take a look at what we have, what has remained. So little means, of course, short, because we saw the expression in the text, a little money, so a short amount of money. Go back. When you go back, you return to a place. Native land, their own land, the place that they live. It's their homeland, of course. To leave, we have the remaining, the possessions, we have set off and are over. So when you leave, its synonym as a phrasal verb is to set off. The things that the Hadza had, a very small amount of things. So their possessions, maybe some clothes, maybe some tools. And finally, when you finish something, then you are over with that thing. Let's move on. We're going to deal now with some adjectives. We have arrogant, so when you're not nice, when you're not being nice, you're arrogant. Miserable, when you feel sad. Outgoing, you are very sociable with the others. Caring, you care about the others' feelings. Sensible, be careful, don't confuse it with the word sensitive. Sensitive has to do with your feelings. Sensible has to do with your mind. You are smart, you are sensible. And hardworking, when you work a lot. So we need to put these words in the sentences. Surgeons are not selfish. They are kind and helpful. So they are kind, they are caring. Teenagers are not cheerful. They don't feel happy. Let's say this is the age. So sometimes they show that they are miserable. They are always in a bad mood. Business people are not lazy. When you're not lazy, it means that you work hard. So you are hardworking. They put a lot of effort into their work. Journalists are not modest. When they're not modest, it means that they are arrogant. They think that they are better than other people. Politicians are not shy. They are confident and sociable. So, if you are not shy, it means that you are outgoing. You get together with other people and you don't feel shy. And farmers are not crazy. They don't make silly decisions. All right, it's our last word. We said that the word sensible means that you are smart. Of course, not crazy. They make the right decisions. Let's move on. Now we're going to deal with some prefixes. So we've got the adjectives and their opposites using prefixes. For example, we have the word experienced and its opposite inexperienced. In order for you to find the correct answer, you need to read the sentence carefully to understand the meaning. So, Phil is an experienced or inexperienced, so the opposite skier. He goes to the mountains every year. So when you do that all the time, it means that you are experienced, of course. You know things very well. Let's move on. Ted is an honest or dishonest guy. He never tells lies. So, since he never tells lies, it means that he is honest, of course. I never ask Sarah to look after my pet. Why? Which is the reason that I don't ask Sarah? Because Sarah is not responsible. It's the opposite. She is irresponsible. That is the opposite of responsible. Miss Morgan is very fair or unfair. She treats all her students equally. So if she treats them equally, it means that she is very fair to her students. And everybody likes Emma. She is really, since everyone likes her, she is very popular. Everyone wants to be with her. She is popular. So we saw the words and their opposites with some prefixes. Now, we're going to see some phrasal verbs and their meaning. Number 1. They broke. We have the verb break put in a phrasal verb. They broke up or they broke into last week. Since they separated, the phrasal verb is they broke up. They're not together anymore. Mike's car often breaks off or breaks down. So when an engine stops working, it breaks down. Arguments often break out or break off between them. When many arguments, fights, let's say, disagreements start, then they often break out. They start unexpectedly. And Helen broke down or broke out when she heard the news. She started crying, so Helen broke down. She started crying when she heard the news. Let's move on. Now, we're going to see one more thing concerning adjectives. Many times students confuse, for example, interesting and interested. They confuse which adjective to use, with an ing or with an ed. It is very simple to remember. When you describe something, you're going to use ing form. So that person is interesting. I am describing this person. But if I say that he feels frightened, it means I'm talking about his feelings. So, when I describe a person, a thing, I use ing form. When I'm talking about feelings, my feelings, I use ed form. So, how I feel frightened. So, let's do some examples for you to practice. Amy gets easily annoyed or annoying. How does she feel? She feels how? Annoyed. That's why it's with an ed. He is confused or he is confusing about her behavior. He is. How does he feel? He feels confused. He is not describing anyone. She is an amused or amusing person. I'm describing her now. So, she is an amusing person. Sue is very interesting or interested in maths. How does she feel about maths? She feels interested in maths. The news is shocking or shocked. I am describing the news. So the news is shocking, of course. And he is such a boring or bored person. What kind of person is he? I am describing this person. He is such a boring person. All right. So, now we talked about adjectives, we talked about personality, The only thing that I would like from you to do is to do these exercises again, and in order to learn vocabulary, the only thing that you need to do is just to put them in sentences. So learn the words in sentences. Goodbye.